Hello? Okay. HIV and AIDS. So, what do you think? What's your first impression of this term? Do you feel positive when you hear the word HIV or AIDS? So how do people here will feel positive if you hear the word HIV or AIDS? Can you please raise your hands?
No.
Of course, no one. Because we know that HIV is a fatal disease, a disease that there is no medicine to cure it. That's why we are so fearful of this particular disease. Up until today, scientists have only discovered the way to actually find a medicine that could extend the life of a patient, but they haven't yet discovered the medicine that could actually cure it. And that brings me to my topic today. Very honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen, the motion of my topic today is the patent rights for AIDS drugs should waive for underdeveloped countries. Now, before starting my argument on this topic, I would like to define two key terms. First one is waive. So waive simply means that to say officially that the rule, etc., need not to be obeyed. The second key term is patent. The patent is the official right to be the only person to make, use, or sell a new product. So to put it simply, that means we should not give any protections to a particular seller of AIDS drug in the underdeveloped world. And I am against this topic for two important reasons. First one, the patent rights. The patent rights is very important in my perspective because in the economic perspective, people respond to incentive. If you take away the patent right, that means people will have less incentive to produce product. So what's the point of trying to create or pioneer new things where you later on figure out that it's going to be copied? So right now, we have the medicines that could only extend the life of people. But if we take away incentive for the manufacturer to actually try to invest more in research and development, there's no way or possibility that it could find out the medicine to cure the disease. So that's why I would say taking away the patent rights will discourage the manufacturer to put more effort to find medicine to cure this particular disease. Secondly, I would say the patent rights will not have a lot of impact, a significant impact on the underdeveloped countries. Why? Because if you take a look, where do the most people affected by HIV reside? Is it in the developed countries or in the underdeveloped countries? The answer is, of course, in the underdeveloped countries. Because those underdeveloped people, they were less educated and they're more exposed to HIV. So when business owners, they start to initiate this one product, they got to observe or survey the market, it's very unlikely for them to produce a medicine that costs $1,000 a tablet. For poor people like Cambodia, who got the GDP average of $1,000 per people, it's very illogical. And in reality, also, it's not costing that much. On top of that is people in the developing countries will not be likely to want to respond to pay the price for those medicines. Because underdeveloped countries, they got a lot of international donors. So they have a lot of organization, a lot of aids from the governments. So like in Cambodia, if people affected by HIV, they could just basically register their poor to an NGO and they will be able to acquire those medicines for free. So that means they will not be likely to have to pay the high price of that product. So, in conclusion, I would say it is not really a good thing to take away the patent rights, because not only will it discourage the manufacturer or the producer to innovate the quality of the medicine, but this particular patent right does not also have any significant impact on the people living in the underdeveloped countries. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your presentations. Now I would like to give the floor to our judges to ask the questions.
Aren't you effectively saying that people in poorer countries have a less
right to life and health than people that come from rich countries?
Pardon me, can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, I'm wondering if the implication of your view is that the people who come from poor countries have less right to life and health compared to the people who come from the rich or the developed countries that produce these drugs.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this patent right will in turn have the produce negative impact on the producer itself. But I'm not saying that we'll devalue the rights of the people in the developing countries. I'm just saying that people living in developing countries will not be affected that much by the patent right. And if they're not affected, I would like to stress on that if you take the patent right, then they will have less incentive to actually enhance the quality of innovative medicine itself.
Hello. Aren't you also, with your perspective on this issue, aren't you subjugating individuals' health and life issues to that of corporate profit?
Yes, I do think so, because when we talk about business, it's all about profit. Business is operated on a profit basis. They want to make profit, that's why they run a business. But to a certain extent now, they also take into consideration the ethical issue as well. So that's why I'm saying they might not be like to charge an extraordinarily high price for that product, because it's going to be against the society as well.
So then to paraphrase, you're saying that a company's right to profit from its research and development is more important than an individual's right to live.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they actually do not place more, they're not going to devalue the right people to live. Because on the one hand, they think about profit, but on the other hand, they also think about the ethicality of the business. So the brand